Hello, this is LynxLPS, a super talented admin on Total Freedom, and in this video, I will be giving a tutorial of how to become a how to be a super admin on the Total Freedom server, as well as some tips and tricks, and a basic admin command setup so that you know how to become an admin in the future. This is the command /smite, a very basic command. Use this followed by a /say message whenever someone breaks a minor rule, such as people doing creative PvPing, slight trolling, like nicking others, using NK nicks, and other miscellaneous minor rules that I can't put in right here. Like I said, you can use /say afterwards, and that is mandatory. Command and very basic command too. This is the command /gtfo, another mandatory and basic command. What I use here, as you can see by this, is that I use a reason which is typed after the name. Various reasons regarding /gtfo will be provided in the next couple footages of video, such as for this person griefing. When you GTFO it, as you can see, it rolls back that player's block count. Also mandatory for admins. /GTFO is also used when someone is invis griefing, as you can see here. When you smite a guy for nicking others, you must do /nick that player that he nicknamed that person to off, as you can see here. /block command purges any /block commands, which you will learn later, and also it also clears any admins or your /block command purges as well. /rollback /rb for short is used when you are unsure of someone griefing. If the griefer undoes his blocks by this rollback, then you can ban them, as you can see here with this suggestive message. /who has or /wh for short shows shows all the players with a specified item, as you can see here with with bottles of chanting and with potions. /invis shows all the players who are invis, and if there are more than 10 players, you might want to /invis smite them, just because sometimes you might not know about someone who spam invis potions, which is usually the case if it goes past 10 players. /real name viewed who has a different nickname. Useful when someone imposes as a famous person like the Sky here. /op is a mandatory command and is used to op all the players. You can use -c and rarely use -s because I'll explain later. Don't use /dop all unless by permission though. Here is /invis smite being used. Now when you use this or want to check on invis griefers as well, you can always do /post and clear all, as you can see here, because it is useful to remove post and do /post and clear all every once in a while. Slash cage is optionally used and mandatory used on Seas of Freedom for imposters, as you will be seeing here by my message here. Now, I can't usually do this at the same time, but slash cage player off. You can also do slash cage player and a block ID other than glass to choose a different cage. You can choose bedrock, you can choose lava, you can choose water, you can choose pretty much any type of block for a cage. It even includes flowers. You can even do flowers or mushrooms or minecart tracks. The possibilities are endless with just slash cage. I mean, honestly. However, this is not how almost all the admins here on Total Freedom use slash cage. Slash cage is not as rarely used on TF, as you can see by my explanation. Slash invent C or slash inf C here is somewhat mandatory for you to check on people who are invis and see if they have invis potions. If they have a slash invis potion and if you TP to them and they are spamming the potion, you can smite them for spamming potions. Slash block command is used when someone is spamming commands, as you can see by the command spy here. Slash command spy is also useful when you're a super admin, because that's pretty much how you do your job. You have to use slash command spy and see who is doing what command. When you become a telnet, like me, you can see the size of the world edge and whatnot. Also, like I said, slash block command has slash block command purge, as I explained earlier. Also, I did not really mention this or not, but there's also slash STFU and slash STFU purge, slash STFU mutual player, and slash for someone spamming in chat, and slash STFU purges slash STFUs. Pretty much like how slash block command purge does to slash block commands. Like I just said, slash STFU mutual player, usually for if someone's spamming the normal chat, not commands, just chat. So the same rules apply for slash block commanded people as the slash STFU players. After a certain amount of time, you have to do slash STFU purge, which is mandatory, so that they are not muted all the time. Slash reload or RL is used by telnet just in case a server is about to crash or lag, and usually we do it whenever the server's about to lag or crash by a big world edit, but usually I do slash GTFO that player before and then slash RL. Unfortunately, you can't do it as a super admin that well because you can't do commands while the server's crashing or lagging. This is my explanation of slash O. I believe slash admin chat works as well, but that would take a long time to type every single time. In all honesty. So I prefer if you do slash O as well. That's what pretty much all the admins do here. This is my explanation of slash admin world. Now admin world is a special world where you can add ops for admin purposes, which are pretty good ops, although sometimes they grief. and we don't know about them because the server then restarts almost afterwards after the grief, and yeah, this saves your builds, and this is a showcase of the admin world as you can see there. Set spawn is used when the spawn is completely messed up. What you have to do is you have to do /tppos xyz coordinates and then do set spawn. If this happens, if the spawn is normal, then you can just, well, you don't need to do this at all until about an hour or two if you're still on the server. /EMF pretty much mandatory for people who speak Spanish or Russian. That's what it said. It's coded on Acid Freedom, not Total Freedom mod, so that's the main reason why. That's probably the only mention needed for this. You can see /help Acid Freedom for other commands made by acidic cyanide. /UAll is used if someone who's disguised as an admin or a mob, like a seep, is griefing. Although usually the log stick helps you find even disguised players, so /UAll isn't really needing to use it. And there's my explanation. I'm typing slower. Yeah, like I said, you can just use the log stick. This is me doing /GTFO to a guy who is spam pasting. This happens quite a bit, honestly. This spam paste stuff usually is sexual stuff, but sometimes it's normal stuff like this works as well. /FR or freeze is used when you find a speed 10 griefer and you don't have log stick up for some weird reason, and you use that to actually get the name of the griefer after doing /UAll and /post and clear all if necessary, and then you GTFO or smite that player depending on the situation. Now, if you have the log stick, you don't really need to do this either, but this is also a command you need to know as well. /glist ban player is usually when you need a ban a player, but that said player goes offline or is offline. Usually this is normal, and as you can see, the server crashed. But there's me using /LL, but well, that's the /LL thing. Now, /glist ban, like I said, bans a player while offline. But glist unban player unbans a player while they're offline. Unbans a player in general, even if they were online and got banned by a /GTFO. /temp ban is used when you want to temp ban someone, usually like at the second strike out of 3 strikes. Strike 2 goes out and they use /temp ban. Now, in most cases, some people just use /tban, but what I like to use is do /temp ban player name. They account for how long the temp ban will last, which can usually last from 1 second to 100,000 years. But that won't happen at all. But yeah, that's how I like to use it. /halt halts a player, similar to how /freeze uses, but also does /SDFU at the same time, and I think also /block command at the same time. This isn't used much, but it's also if you want to use an alternative or mix it up between /FR and /SDFU and /block command, you can use this command. /wildcard is only used permanently without with permission, if you want to do slash wildcard GCMD, which commands another player to do something to another player, which commands a player to do something to another player, GCMD question mark, and what I don't know what forces a player to do a command, question mark AI, and slash AI stands for admin. And you use admin info. No, so you have to apply for super admin. Now, slash wildcard is not used for anything else other than that, because otherwise you would probably get suspended for that. Now, it says kick noob isn't necessary. Let's go with that. Yes. Slash landmine is disabled. Slash last command. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. Oh yeah. Slash last command allows you to view a player's last command. Now, if you use slash wildcard with that, if you use slash wildcard GCMD admin name last command, which I highly recommend you don't do. It will show you a whole list of commands that an op did. The last command. Slash list shows all the players. You can do slash list -a to find all the admins. Slash lockup is a scene command. Slash mob limited limits the number of mobs in the world. Now, not many people know about this command. In fact, I won't be surprised if none of these admins know about it, but I do know about it, and it could be useful at some times. Slash online mode is a telnet command, but you can know about the command now. Slash online mode is used whenever there is an attack on players, or like a spam bot attack, which we haven't seen in a while the online mode is false. You set this to true, and they don't appear at all. And after about a few minutes or so, you set it back to false, so the other people who have cracked accounts can join again. It says opt yourself. Now slash orbit's another player, and some people use this to make an imitation of Disney Freedoms slash GT, which started off as a slash orbit and then smites you in midair. Yeah. That is on Teacher Freedom. It's not allowed at all, because otherwise, because you get suspended if you do use it, because there's lots of trouble with using that command. Slash permaband list permaband. Slash plugin control toggles plugins. That's for senior admins. Slash QOP ops a player from their parcel name. Same thing with slash QDOP. Slash radar views nearby players. Slash rank gives your player's rank thing, but you don't really need that. Slash RD removes all entities, which is useful if someone is made a lag machine and it uses minecarts or boats, and you use that instantly. Now you also use a slash RD for if there's a server crisis and someone's spamming you with a hacked client bottles of enchanting to make a really bad server lag setup. Slash RO removes a block from a radius of all players and their inventory, which is kind of weird, but it's useful when if you want to clean out the griefed mess up spawn and not do slash set spawn. Slash say send a message, obviously, through console. Slash SD config allows you to manage super admins, but for super admins and telnet admins, it's only there so that you can view it. Slash gadmin list allows you to see who has blank nicknames and who has NK nicknames easily, without the need of telnet. So, yeah. Stop is stop the server, and only use that. Do not use it on normal cases. Only use it if you are going to, well, you know. Do not use it unless it's necessary. Also, make sure to not do the keyboard key slash and then stop, like you're trying to say something. to someone do stop, but do slash stop it, but you put slash and do slash stop instead. Slash TF band list and slash TF IP band list shows the list of bands. And if you're a senior admin or higher, you can actually purge the bands if you need to. Slash Twitter or slash Twitter bot allows you to verify yourself using Twitter if you have Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, you have to verify yourself using the shout box on the forums. And that's about it here for basic commands. Slash cake find out, slash cookie find out, this one as well. Yeah, that's all I have here. Here are some tips and tricks to help you become better super admin. The first one is to make sure that you obey your superiors, you obey your telnet admins, you obey your senior admins, you obey your owner. Because otherwise you wouldn't get well with the community. Tip 2. Make sure that you don't mess up many times. Because honestly, I do slash SMTIE sometimes because I type too fast. That's just me. But yeah. Tip 3 is you can get on as much as you can. And be nice throughout said duration. If it's 2 hours, that's fine. If it's 5 hours, that's fine. If it's 30 minutes, that's somewhat fine. As long as it's not just a quick 2 minutes, that's fine. As long as it's not a quick 2 minutes, any of those numbers are fine. I would recommend that a small admin session would be 15 minutes at the least. Now, that is about it for the tips and tricks, and that is it for this video. As I think from what I believe. Other thing, I think I just found out a new trick. If you disobey, also follow the posting guidelines on the forums, because you'll need if you're an admin without a forums account. Well, yeah, that's highly unlikely. But that's all for this video, and this will hopefully teach our new super admins how to do a basic command setup. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you Lynxes later. Be sure to subscribe to this channel if you liked this video.